Spring training is winding down. Just 6 days until opening day at Petco Park. The Padres opening day roster is beginning to take shape. Manager Andy Green still has several tough decisions to make. The competition has brought out everyone's best. And tonight, those in a race for the roster get another shot at leaving a lasting impression. Rangers and Padres next on Fox Sports San Diego. We welcome you to just outside Phoenix, Arizona, where it's a beautiful night as the Cactus League schedule rolls along. The San Diego Padres are at home tonight to take on the Texas Rangers from the Peoria Sports Complex in Peoria, Arizona. Welcome inside the stadium, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. One of the key acquisitions for the Padres this offseason came from the Yankees and Brian Mitchell, a guy who's been a reliever in the past, now trying to transition from being a reliever to being a Padres starter.
Don, one of the main reasons this trade was consummated is because they really like Brian Mitchell along with Chase Headley. Of course, the contract for Chase Headley is another story, but they really like what he has to bring. The soon 27-year-old, he commands the glove side of the plate down and away very nicely, high fastball, mid-90s, and also he can cut the ball as well. So with the Yankees, 20 games, one as a starter, mostly a starter in the minor leagues. So let's fast forward now to Peoria, Arizona and spring training. Well, he's added a beard, that's good. Maybe a little deception in delivery, but he's a guy that already probably nailed down into the rotation. Andy Green says there's 2 spots available. He's a good athlete, throws the 2-seamer, the 4-seamer, a curveball, a cutter, and a changeup. And the one thing about Brian Mitchell, we might see it tonight, his go-to pitch, a lot of guys will go to a fastball. He really likes the curveball. So keep an eye on the number 2 tonight from right-hander Brian Mitchell.
Well, the tone has changed in spring training. Things are getting a little serious now. Opening day right around the corner. Bob Scanlon will join us when we come back to Peoria. We'll check in with some of the Padres next. Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Acura, precision crafted performance. We welcome you back to the desert. It's the Padres and Rangers, but first, let's check in at field level with Bob Scanlon.
Well, thank you, Don. Look, it's no secret that the end of spring training is right around the corner. There's only 3 Cactus League games left, including tonight's, and after that, the exhibition game in El Paso. Now, there's lots of physical reminders that the end is almost here. There's a lot of empty lockers in the clubhouse. Guys are packing up boxes. You're seeing cars getting shipped, and most importantly, the golf clubs are getting sent back to San Diego. But there's also something more subtle going on, but maybe just as important. It's a mood change. Things are a little bit more intense right now. There's more focus. There's more purpose in what these guys are doing. You can feel the atmosphere change in the clubhouse. Here's what some of the players had to say.
You know, you really want to start locking in, especially for the position players. Start to get on that day-to-day routine to where you feel that you know, you're playing every day and you're in the swing of things. So I know everyone's anxious to get out. The lockers are all pretty much packed up. So you know, we're only days away, so it's a good feeling.
You know, everybody's realizes that it's, you know, it's about time to crank it up. So try to have a little bit more realistic at bats, and you're facing better pitching, those type of things. So just try to accomplish now in the last, you know, few games and tune it up and get ready to go.
Now, those are 2 veteran guys, Eric Hosmer, Chase Headley. They've been through a lot of spring trainings. For them, it's some fine-tuning, and don't do anything stupid at this point to get yourself hurt before the start of the season. But remember, there's still a lot of guys that are battling for spots. You have 4 guys battling for an outfield position, 4 guys on the infield, 4 for the rotation, and for the bullpen as well. So it's still very intense for these players going down the stretch. Coming up, though, Brian Mitchell, he knows where his spot is. He's going to be in the starting rotation. He'll be starting against the Rangers tonight. Cactus League Baseball coming up next. Padres and Rangers right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
As it is a beautiful night tonight in Arizona, as the spring training schedule for the Padres winds down, and tonight their final night game of the spring against the Texas Rangers as they welcome him here into Peoria. For the final time, they'll take on the Rangers, and we'll check out the Rangers starting 9. Shin-Soo Choo at the top of the order in right field, with Joey Gallo at first base batting second. Adrian Beltre is the DH batting third. Rougned Odor at second base. Late addition Juan Centeno will do the catching, as Robinson Chirinos was scratched just before the ball game. Jurickson Profar is at shortstop, with Ryan Rua in left field. Drew Robinson gets a start at third base. He'll bat 8th. And Carlos Tochi is in center field, and he bats 9th. Padres take the field tonight, and Brian Mitchell is on the mound for San Diego.
And we talked about him in the
pregame show, our open, Brian Mitchell, acquired from the New York Yankees. Got the 2-4 seam fastball, the curveball, the cutter. Change up, it tops out about 95, 96. He's very athletic, and the final tune-up for the right-hander. Andy Green said there were 2 spots in the rotation that are open. It looks like Brian Mitchell has nailed one of those 5 down. And defensively behind Brian Mitchell for the Padres from left to right, Jose Pirela will be in left field. In center field, Manuel Margot. Right fielder Hunter Renfroe on the infield around the horn from third to first. Chase Headley at shortstop. Christian Villanueva. Corey Spangenberg at second base, and at first base Eric Hosmer. Sitting like a frog tonight, given the signs, Rafi Lopez will be catching Brian Mitchell.
Sitting like a frog, really? I've not heard that before.
Hopefully no tennis racket though in that glove. So we're set for Cactus League action. I'm excited.
Brian Mitchell on the hill tonight for the Padres. Going to be fun to watch. I've not seen him yet pitch during the spring in person.
That's why I'm so excited. Just watching video. We saw a little bit with the Yankees. And keep in mind, last year with the Yankees, 20 games, only 1 start, right? Majority of the time in the minor leagues, which has been how he has been mostly pitching.
Right.
Very few days of service at the big league level. Majority a starter in the minor leagues. So Darren Balsey said tonight before the game, maybe, hopefully go about 6 innings. Stretch him out a little bit. And you can see he looks athletic. He, one of the things he's gotten better at, Don, is glove side down and away to the right-handed hitters. His glove side towards home plate. So right-handed hitters down and away. See if you can pepper that spot. That would be down and in to left-handed hitters like Shin-Soo Choo, who's coming up to the plate.
Yeah, Shin-Soo Choo standing in on the left side as Brian Mitchell toes the rubber tonight. And Choo having a pretty good spring, hitting at 300 coming into spring training. Two homers, 8 runs batted in for Shin-Soo Choo during the spring. They're waiting on a rosin bag, and they've now gotten it in behind the mound as Brian Mitchell went back there to get one, and there wasn't one. So he asked for one from the bullpen area, and that's where it came from, down from right field, and now we're ready to go. Choo, Gallo, and Beltre scheduled to bat here in the first inning. And the first pitch of the ball game in there for strike 1. Brian Mitchell, 26 years of age, born in Reidsville, North Carolina, resides now in Tampa, Florida. Came over from the Yankees along with Chase Headley. Cash considerations for Jabari Blash. And that deal was made in December of this past offseason.
Remember when Brian was acquired, that was one of the main reasons why that deal was done. Because they really like the arm on Brian Mitchell.
Well, you got Mitchell on the mound tonight. You got Chase Headley starting at third base tonight for the Padres. And he's had a pretty good spring. And getting down to it here, just a couple of games left before the Padres will head home. This one chopped to first, and Hosmer will take it himself to the bag for out number 1.
Now you think about being in a trade, you think about opportunity. Well, opportunity is knocking big time for this right-hander Mitchell. Think about the Yankee rotation, right? It's, hey, there comes a time when you think, hey, maybe I can get traded. That will be a great opportunity for me. So he's given every opportunity, and Darren Balsey really likes what he sees in this right-hander. He's going to be 27, April 19th.
And one down here in the first inning brings up Joey Gallo. 3 home runs during the spring for Gallo, known for his home run prowess. Well, that stands for Gallo. He actually starts out of the box with that front foot. That back foot is in the box, but the front foot was right on the line last time. Almost out of it.
Gets a good view of the pitcher, then squares up. High leg kick.
Quickly down, 0-2.
Yeah, with the home runs, with the power of Gallo comes the strikeouts, right? We know that. So he's got him right where he wants him. You don't have to throw him a strike. You can elevate. You can bounce one, as Mitchell just did.
41 home runs a year ago for Gallo. 80 RBIs with those 41 home runs. But he hit it just .209 for the season. So it's kind of an all or nothing. 196 strikeouts.
Penthouse or outhouse.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at that swing. That's a two-strike swing. And he's coming out of his shoes. And we just saw the curveball. Mentioned in the open about Brian Mitchell and that curveball, how he feels going to that, his go-to pitch. Big leg kick, still big swing with 2 strikes. He's got that type of swing as a pitcher. Maybe drop a changeup on him. Really, screw him right into the ground or elevate.
He went to the gas there on the fastball and it's fouled back to the screen.
Hey, everything's launch angle these days, right? Exit velocity. Guys trying to jerk the ball out of the ballpark. So why not a guy like this go up the ladder? They will chase. Really tough to get on top of it, level it out, and send it on its way.
You talk about launch angle and exit velocity. This guy, he can do it. And there's a drive to deep right field. On cue, back towards the berm and gone. Home run for Joey Gallo. Mentioned he had 41 of them last year. His 4th of the spring, and the Texas Rangers take a 1-0 lead.
On a ladder, they've got certain rungs, right? When you climb the ladder, you go up to the top rung. Well, I don't think Brian Mitchell hit the top rung. It was down too far. Look at this crouch. Rafi Lopez, he is up out of the crouch. He wants it up out of the zone. Didn't get it up enough for Gallo to straighten that one out and get on top of it just enough to send it on its way. Boy, that's full extension. And one type of swing. Doesn't matter. First pitch, last pitch, 2 strikes. Doesn't matter. He's got one thing in mind.
Well, the Rangers out to the fast start, 1-0. And here is Adrian Beltre. He's had a great spring, hitting at .360. 10 games during the spring for Beltre.
Don, you know as well as anybody, the hard drive. You have to erase what has happened in the past in any sport, really. Forget about that pitch. Forget about that home run, and get the next guy quickly. Don't want it to snowball. Hey, it's spring training, sure, but you know what? You want to get out of this inning with just that 1 run. 2 quick outs right here.
Especially where you were talking about him possibly going 6 tonight. That's something he wants to do. Beltre coming off an injury-marred season last year, right calf tightness and strained left hamstring problem on the DL for a couple of different stints, April and May, and then in September with a strained left hamstring. 17 home runs last year. Did hit a .312 and takes the strike. It's the bad news from Ramon De Jesus, home plate umpire tonight.
This has been one fun player to watch over the course of his career, hasn't it? Adrian
Absolutely.
Beltre.
Had a chance to be around him for a full season. Absolutely love Adrian Beltre.
Just don't touch his hair.
No, don't touch his head at all. Out to second base and Corey Spangenberg, 2 down.
You can see that pitch in particular, that swing, all upper body. We know that Adrian still has pop. You make a mistake, he can turn on it, hit a gap, hit a home run, but that was almost like an emergency swing, all upper body, weak round to the right side, had him play perfectly.
The first player in Major League history with 3,000 hits, Adrian Beltre, and retired this time on the ground out as he brings up Rougned Odor. Second baseman, hitting a .204 with 30 home runs last year. 75 runs batted in, played in every game for the Rangers. This year during the spring, a quiet spring, hitting at .192 so far.
Do you think that this Texas Ranger team likes to take its hacks?
They do, especially in their ballpark during the summer.
You saw the swing from Gallo. You now saw the swing from Odor.
In there for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Nice cut fastball from Brian Mitchell.
Line and caught right at shortstop. Christian Villanueva is there to grab the liner that ends the inning. 1-0 Texas. Padres are coming up. Joey Gallo home run. The difference in the game. Beautiful sky here tonight as the sun is setting on Arizona. And it is Manuel Margot leading it off for the Padres tonight and in center field. Eric Hosmer at first base with Jose Perella in left field. Hunter Renfroe in right field. Christian Villanueva made the final out of the first inning. Chase Headley is at third base. Corey Spangenberg at second. Rafael Lopez does the catching, and Brian Mitchell, the pitcher, will bat. And tonight the Padres will be dealing with Martin Perez.
Soon to be 27-year-old on April 4th. This left-hander, fastball, curveball, changeup, mid-90s, can top out about 95, 96. Very inconsistent though. Can he help the Rangers rotation? Because I tell you what, they need a starter or starters. Their bullpen was very, very bad last year. The pitching not good for the Rangers of Texas in 2017.
And Will Margot leading it off, 10 for 48 during the spring. A 208 average for Margot. Somehow baseball ended up behind the mound. So he just took care of that and threw it out of play. You don't want to have two balls in play at the same time. It can be very confusing.
That'd be interesting.
This is sharply lined into left field for Manuel Margot. Good start for the Padres here in the bottom of the first inning.
Hunt the fastball, get it, hit it hard, and hopefully finds a hole. Perez, there's a fastball down and away, outer third. The extension from Manuel, and that's the 5.5 hole for a safety to left.
So Margot at first base, we'll be keeping an eye on him. Of course, very good speed for Margot. And it brings up Eric Hosmer. Now, we've seen Hosmer hit third. We've seen him hit fourth. Tonight he's batting second. You get a feel for where he's going to bat in this lineup?
You want my I really don't, not yet, but here's my thought on this. If I'm making a lineup card, I want this guy up in the first inning.
We got a piece of Centeno.
It's like, remember Mark McGwire was with the A's and Tony La Russa? His philosophy was, everyone thinks Mark McGwire's a cleanup hitter, right? Number 4?
Sure.
No, Tony's philosophy was, I want this guy up in the first inning. We got a chance to strike, whether it's driving in a run or hitting a home run, 2-run shot, whatever, 3-run shot. We get on the board first. I like our chances. So that's just one way of thinking about Eric Hosmer. I wouldn't mind batting third.
Well, tonight Will Myers not in the lineup, and they have been kind of been batting back to back in the lineup. We've seen Myers bat second a few times, but with Will not in the lineup tonight, it is Hosmer batting second. They got Perella batting third in behind him. And Perella's had a tremendous spring, hitting at .444 during the spring.
Jose Perella should just get T-shirts made right now and just I rake. Right?
He's been tremendous. Playing defensively at second base and in the outfield. On the ground towards short, could be 2. Profile with a bobble, still have a chance though. On to first, the double play. Now hit so sharply by Hosmer that even with the bobble, they're able to turn it 6-4-3 on the DP, 2 down.
Well, you saw Profar, Odor, and Gallo there. Let's check the rest of the defense for the Texas Rangers. In left, Ryan Rua. Center field, Carlos Tochi, Shin Soo Chu in right. Around the horn on the infield, Drew Robinson at third. Profar at short, Rougned Odor. Second base, Joey Gallo. And behind the dish, Juan Centeno. There was a scratch. Chirinos behind the plate, scratched behind Martin Perez.
There's Jose Perella standing in. Mentioned the .444 during the spring. Couple home runs for him, too, with 9 RBIs in 18 spring games. Got plenty of reps during the spring.
Loves the fastball, so what does Perez do? He counters with the changeup.
Martin Perez, 26 years old, from Venezuela. Last year finished the year 13-12 in 32 starts. Regular starter for the Rangers all of last year.
Oh, that's a good sign. He grabbed the rock every 5 days. Made his starts.
ERA near 5 though, 4.82 the ERA.
That was the common theme for the whole Rangers rotation.
Scored some runs, but gave up a lot of runs too.
Yeah, there's one thing when you maybe score 6 but give up 7.
It's not good.
No, it's not
Means
a good
you
combo.
lose.
Yeah.
We're going back to Texas this year. Of course, interleague play, the American League West this year.
Yeah, well, when your team collectively, talking about the Rangers last year, throughout Major League Baseball, they were 26th in baseball in average, batting average. ERA for starters was 17th. And the bullpen wasn't much better. ERA, they ranked 28th, and WHIP for the bullpen for the Rangers at 28. A lot of base runners.
A pitch fouled off to the right, out of play.
You know, that ballpark, hot, humid, the wind starts whipping around, right? Aren't they getting a new ballpark
They are
within
indeed.
the next few years?
Yeah. I like their ballpark now.
I'd like it better if it was covered.
Strike three call as Perella frozen. First strikeout for Perez. Done with one tonight from Peoria. The Rangers have a 1-0 lead.
Top of the second inning, Brian Mitchell making his second inning of work. He's in the starting rotation, but there's still a battle going on for the rest of the spots. Now, Denelson Lamet is probably going to be in. We know that Clayton Richard has opening day, but as far as the remaining two spots, well, it's still up in the air. Obviously, the incumbent is Luis Perdomo. He has thrown very well in his last two outings, as has Tyson Ross, who threw 6 shutout innings today in a B game, guys. And when asked, Andy Green said, look, there's nothing left for Tyson Ross to prove to us, although he would not say that he definitely has the spot. Robbie Erlin also throwing well today. And, of course, there's Joey Lucchesi. People wondering, is he still in the hunt? Andy Green has said he's thrown very well, but it might be too early to have him start with the ball club. Chris Young still throwing well also. So, guys, this is going to go down to the very end.
Well, Scan, it seemed today, and listening to Andy Green, as we take a look at that wanted rotation spot and who could get it, or get them for that matter. It sounds like they've already made their decision, but they're going to wait here a couple of days, last couple of days before they actually announce it. Did you get that impression, Scan?
Absolutely, and it totally makes sense, right? Because so much can happen. A guy can show up tomorrow and say, hey, you know what, I've got a little bit of tenderness in my elbow. Somebody could become available through the waiver wire. Somebody could get released with another ball club. So I think Andy was saying that the situation is still fluid. I agree with you. It made it sound as though a decision had been made, what they're leaning towards doing, but there's no reason to announce it until 8:30 on the day of opening day.
You know, it's been a long spring, but a great spring, and I think Andy Green has really liked the competitive nature that has gone on here during the spring, because there have been so many jobs available, and guys have been going hard every day.
You know what, guys? It's been a spring training unlike any other that I can't think of in years past, to where we've had this type of competition and having to make tough decisions, and that's good for any ball club.
That's a good problem to have.
You know, talking to Darren Balsley before the game, spots in the pen. He says there's 4 or 5 spots open in the pen. And the rotation, as Bob Scanlon just mentioned, 2 spots that how many bodies are trying to compete for.
Well, you know, Mud, the other nice thing that whoever doesn't make the rotation, let's say it's Chris Young, for example, or Robbie Erlin, look, if a need comes up to put one of those guys back into the rotation, you have that depth. That's comforting to know that those guys are there.
Now the veterans that have been added to this team too have been tremendous during the spring. A couple right there for you in Young and Ellis both.
I love both those guys, Chris Young and A.J. Ellis. Just they bring so much to the ball club. We talk about that quite a bit.
Line to center and right in front of Margot for a base hit. Profar aboard here with one down in the second inning.
A lot of injuries in the years past for Jurickson Profar. Boy, remember, Don, when he first came up to the big leagues? The ceiling was so high. The sky was the limit for this kid. Let's take a look at you know what? A lot of these Rangers, I've just noticed, they start with the open stance, they square up, and they go to hacking.
And one down, runner at first, Ryan Rua. 211 average during the spring, getting the start in left field tonight for Texas. And the fastball for a strike over the outside corner. That fastball registering at 94 miles an hour for Brian Mitchell. 19 games for Rua, hitting at 211. Left field set up straight away. And the right-handed hitting left fielder for the Rangers. Now bounce in, and it gets away. Profar will go to second base without a problem. Lopez got his body on him, but kicked behind him, and Profar easily getting into scoring position.
Watch the curveball in the dirt. It's on the outside part of the plate. Looks like a curveball. Anyway, breaking ball off the chest. Good secondary lead by the runner. And I don't care who you are. You could be Jurickson Profar. You could be Don Orsillo. You get a good secondary lead. You're taking second base on that ball in the dirt away from the catcher.
You think I can get to second?
It'd be bang bang.
It's a good thing there's no review during spring training.
That's not a bad pitch there. Even though it works to a hitter's count, 2-1. And as I mentioned before, glove side to the right-handed hitter. That means down and away, correct? So if you could counter with that pitch to even the count 2-2, let's see if Brian can make an adjustment.
Well, through an inning and a third, this would be pitch 30 of the night for Mitchell. And it's line foul off to the right. There you go.
And there it is. And did you see the defensive swing there?
Yes, kind of on the tardy side.
Upper body, arms, just flinging at it, trying to dump something down in the right center or right field line rather. Now it might come the yacker. Now he's got it in the hitter's mind. Okay, I can dot the fastball down and away. If he throws me a hammer, will I have to protect and swing at a ball in the dirt?
Fastball at 95 that time, and hands a little bit on the slick side, so he goes back and gets some rosin.
He will throw the two-seamer. He will throw the four-seamer. He will also cut the fastball.
Ball four, and he loses Rua. First balk allowed by Mitchell of his outing.
I can't wait for the opening series, and I'm sure you can't either, Don. As a part of the Padres opening series weekend, all fans, everyone in attendance for a game against the Brewers on Saturday, March 31st, you're going to get a fleece blanket presented by Sequan Casino. Grab your tickets at Padres.com. Who doesn't need a fleece?
Love fleeces. Especially when it's a blanket fleece.
Fleece.
That was one of my favorite giveaways right there. The brown Padres.
Let me use my telestrip.
Fleece. Oh, it's gone.
Which one were you talking about?
The brown.
With the gold letters?
Long sleeve. Yeah, that was a good one. That was year before last.
Look at another open stance right here.
Drew Robinson, the batter right now, with runners at first and second, one away. And the break ball in the dirt, trying for third base is Profar. This time he will be out at third. Well, didn't get all that far away from Lopez. And Profar tried to take a base for the second time in the inning, and he's gunned down at third base by Rafi Lopez.
Let's go back to the pitch in the dirt like a cat. Get to the baseball, and only 2 steps right from the ear. Chase Headley in a good position. The swipe tag gets Profar for the out. Erases a runner in scoring position.
So 2 down, runner at first, and Robinson had taken that pitch.
Surprised that Rua didn't take second base on that.
Still held on over there at first by Hosmer.
Well, it's official. I'm an old man. You know why? Because the first base coach for the Texas Rangers,
yeah,
he and I played against each other in AA ball. Steve Buechele, the Texas League. He was with the Tulsa Drillers.
So because he's the first base coach, that makes you old?
And I was with the Shreveport Captains, 1983.
Just because he's a coach?
Gosh.
Always had the good hair. He still does.
Yeah.
The flowing locks in the back. I like that. Third baseman, right?
Yep. Good player. Good career. Really good career.
And then you.
Yeah. Yeah.
2-2 coming up here to Drew Robinson.
Even back then, it seemed like the Rangers had guys that could bop the ball out of the ballpark.
They always have.
Seems that way. There are organizations that have that template, right? That we want guys to. And it seems like Texas has always done that.
In the dirt and blocked by Rafi Lopez. Mitchell has been bouncing a few here, and Rafi's had to work pretty hard in the inning.
When you have a curveball pitcher like that, like Brian Mitchell, you have to anticipate those pitches, especially ahead in the count, bounce one, and as a pitcher, you trust your catcher to smother that one.
Payoff pitch coming here. Runner will get us started first with 2 down. And a swing and a miss. A pitch down and in. And Robinson strikes out second K for Mitchell. Inning and a half done. 1-0 Rangers.
Luxury seating option. Relax in your private space with fully cushioned seats and don't miss a minute of the action with in-seat service. Located behind home plate. Available for nightly rentals or for season ticket membership. For more information, go to Padres.com/premium. That's Padres.com/premium.
Now it's into the bottom of the second inning, and Hunter Renfroe, Christian Villanueva, and Chase Headley scheduled to bat in the inning. 5 home runs during the spring for Hunter Renfroe. Had 26 home runs last year despite missing a month of the year and in AAA.
That's amazing, isn't it?
And El Paso still had the 26 home runs last year, having a very good spring with 5 this spring.
And I think for the time he was in AAA, wasn't he like player of the week like 3 times in a row?
Yeah.
Just lighting it on fire.
Well, I think he went down and took it seriously. I think it was a wake-up call of sorts.
That's a part of a player's career or mindset that really goes a long way. I mean, is he going to go down and sulk, hang his head? Oh, I'm getting the short end of the stick. Or is he going to go, you know what? look at adversity in the eye and say, hey, this guy, Moi, is going to come out on top. Raked against lefties last year. Righties, not so much.
One thing he's certainly been working on during the spring is facing right-handers and trying to make some adjustments there. He's also played some left field for Andy Green this spring. Of course, the bulk of his major league time in right field last year. This sharply hit back where it came from into center field. Well, Margot had a single in the first. Now Renfroe leads off the second with his base hit.
Everybody talks about exit velocity and launch angle, as we mentioned before, but even though this is a one hopper through the infield, this ball is scalded. You could tell by the way that ball sounded off that shillelagh. He squared that one up.
So lead runner on for the second straight inning, and it brings up Christian Villanueva. Villanueva getting the start at shortstop tonight, and of course last year's big league time came at third base. Lost some weight during the offseason. Really
looks good.
Much better shape this year coming into spring.
Muy guapo.
You too, by the way. You've dropped some LBs. I know.
I try. I'm just wearing bigger clothes.
In the air to right. Chin-Soo Choo has it lined up out there in right. We'll take care of out number one here the second inning.
Kind of pulled off that one a little bit. Looked like.
Martin Perez working here into the second inning. 20 pitches deep into his outing, and it brings up Chase Headley. 265 spring for Headley. Couple home runs, 3 RBIs in 15 games. Back at third base tonight for the Padres, batting out of the 6th spot.
Cool would it be to be a switch hitter in the big leagues?
Pretty awesome.
And to be successful at it, and be, you know,
better.
It's
Eddie Murray.
Yeah. Mickey
Chipper.
Mantle, Chipper Jones.
Hall of Famer now.
Yeah.
Two 2-0 here to Chase Headley with Corey Spangenberg waiting on deck. And Padres trailing 1-0. Batting here in the home half of the second inning. Lots of fans on the berm tonight. It is crowded tonight. Great night tonight to bring out a blanket, hang out here.
Not too cold.
No, perfect. A lot of fans partaking tonight. Rangers are here for the second straight night. They were here last night taking on the Seattle Mariners.
I would think a lot of kids on break as well. Even though it is a Friday night, still a great night to bring the family out to the ball yard.
On the ground towards third, could be 2. Robinson will go to second for run. Around the horn they go for 2. 5-4-3 in the Twin Killings. Second double play turned by the Rangers tonight. Texas on top 1-0. Third inning back at Peoria Sports Complex. Last night spring training game for the Padres here in Peoria. We'll have another one, of course, on Monday night that we'll have for you right here on Fox Sports San Diego. The Padres taking on the El Paso Chihuahuas.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see that ballpark.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't been there yet.
Oh, I was there 2 seasons ago with Mark Sweeney when we finished up spring training.
You want to know the last time I was in El Paso?
What was that? Double A?
As I just mentioned, 1983 with the Shreveport Captains. We played at Spar Stadium, which was, that's another story. We played at the old Dudley Dome, they called it. It wasn't a dome, obviously, but the ball flew out of there like it was like pitching on the moon.
Not the ideal conditions for you?
For anybody.
No. Were they the Diablos in El Paso at that point?
The El Paso Diablos, Double A for the Milwaukee Brewers. You know what was cool? If a Diablo hit a home run, he took his helmet and went from dugout to dugout through the chain link fence. People would give dollar bills to the players.
Nice.
They'd stuff it in their helmet. It's gas money in Double A, right?
Absolutely.
Or social sparkler money.
A little bit of travel in that league, from what I understand.
You think?
Yeah. Some 12 hours in a bus ride.
14 from Shreveport to El Paso.
Really? Wow.
You know, there's an old saying. The sun is risen, the sun is set, and we ain't got through Texas yet.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that
I
one.
learned that.
In the Texas League.
In the Texas League.
Down to first base with the second walk allowed by Mitchell. Goes Carlos Tocci. Well, some injuries in the National League West.
Wow.
There's some big names right here. Madison Bumgarner, of course, last year, the accident that he had, and now today fractures his left pinky and will be out 6 to 8 weeks in what was likely his last tune-up before the regular season. Justin Turner, of course, suffered the broken wrist on Monday. He's expected back in May. And Steven Souza Jr. came over from Tampa Bay to Arizona in a diving bid in the outfield. This one to first base. Hosmer trying to start it. The second for one. Back to first for 2. Well, the Rangers had turned 2 double plays, and there's the first twin killing of the night for the Padres. 2 down.
Now the beauty of being a left-hander at first base. Watch Hosmer. He squares up, being left-handed. Catch it. He's already in the throwing position. Throw a strike. Get back there to complete the 3-6-3 double play. Makes it look easy.
So 2 down here in the third, and it brings up Joey Gallo. He is the difference in the game. Gallo with his 4th home run of the spring in the first inning. Brian Mitchell. Padres going to a shift against him on the right side, and charging in is Headley, third baseman. Stowe is not going to be in time. Headley with the shift coming in from short right field and not getting to the ball quick enough, and Gallo showing some very good speed for a big man down the line. He beats it out.
This was hit just perfectly. You've got the big swing from Gallo, right? Well, it looks like it's off the end of the bat. Headley's got a charge, and as you mentioned, Don, getting down the line nicely is Gallo. And even I think if Chase barehands that one, I don't know if they get him. We'll never know.
2 down, runner at first for Adrian Beltre. Beltre grounded out to Corey Spangenberg at second base in the first inning. 0 for 1. Sharply hit through the left side into left field, a base hit. Gallo will take second on the ringing single by Adrian Beltre.
You know, one thing I've noticed over the course of career for Beltre is that this guy doesn't give up at bats, right?
No.
Same intensity, even spring training. And here's a fastball right down the short, quick stroke, strong. One hopper through that left side.
3,048 hits in his career. Of course, going over 3,000 last year. Started his big league career in 1998 with the Dodgers. Of course, the first 6 seasons of his major league career with the Dodgers. In Seattle, a year with Boston. Now he has been a Texas Ranger since 2011. Here is Rougned Odor. Rangers trying to get something done here with 2 down in the inning. They have runners at first and second. in the air down the right field line, foul ground. Hosmer going as far as he can, but he won't have a play. Down by the tarp area, Spangenberg and Renfro over there as well, but a souvenir.
Oh, look at that smile. Arizona State fan. Automatic smile when you get a big league pelota. That's what I was trying to say. Baseball.
Gallo at second, Beltre at first, 2 down here in the Rangers' 3rd inning. Mitchell backing off here, working from the stretch with the runners on. Mitchell has been working down in the zone. When he's missed, it's been down for the most part, which I guess is a good thing. And he has induced some ground balls in this game too.
As I mentioned earlier, trusting your catcher, and your catcher should reiterate that. Been many times when a catcher would say, hey, you know what, you've got the 12-6 curveball, don't be afraid to throw it. I'll block it for you. If you're a little bit hesitant to throw, you're going to hang it, you're going to get hurt. You're right, when he's missed down.
To center field, struck pretty well. Margot going back at the track at the wall, and that ball is gone. Off the batter's eye in center field, a 3-run shot for Rougned Odor. His 2nd home run of the spring, and just like that, the Rangers jump on top 4-0. Straightaway center, and he hit it well. 2nd home run of the ball game for the Rangers off Brian Mitchell.
Mentioned this team's got some pop. 1-1. He just didn't get the cutter in enough. Rafi Lopez wanted that pitch in, maybe in off the plate a little bit, hoping that he would offer at it. Well, he offered at that one because it caught too much of the plate to send it on its way.
Centeno will take strike 1. See if Mitchell can bounce back again. He did after the home run by Joey Gallo in the 1st inning, and trying to do the same thing here after the 3-run shot in the 3rd.
Well, the swing shouldn't surprise you when I mentioned that in 16 and 17, this kid became the first Ranger to compile back-to-back seasons with 30 or more home runs. He gets extended. A lot of punch, a lot of power in that swing.
Finds a hole on the right side into right field. And Centeno aboard here with a 2-out base hit. 4th straight hit here for the Rangers, all coming with 2 down in the inning. And that'll send Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, out to talk to Brian Mitchell. Try to settle him down.
Yeah, Darren, when he goes out and talks to the pitchers, he doesn't try to throw a lot of mechanical stuff their way, because to me, looking at Brian Mitchell for the first time tonight, seems like his mechanics are pretty sound. Nothing really, you know, he doesn't have that twist or turn or the extreme high leg kick, doesn't have the funky arm slot. So, you know, he's got to get out in front of his pitches. He's got to get good tilt on his pitches. I think that visit there from Darren's kind of like, just like you said, like just to calm me down.
The Padres have only 5 visits remaining now.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So far, the 7th member of the Rangers to bat here in the 3rd inning. Single to center in the 2nd, so 1 for 1 on the night. Mitchell at 55 pitches through 2 2/3 innings. Good pitch, and it's 1-1.
You know what I like about that? Falling behind 1-0 and then going back to the hammer for a strike. 1-0, hitters counts. And, you know, I'm a firm believer. There are times, I think more times than not, hitters guess. I mean, well, why do you think fastballs right down the middle they just tattoo, right? Because they're looking for it. 1-0, he might have it in his mind, I'm going to swing. If it's close, I'm swinging.
Drops Allen in there, and it's 1-2.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Now that opens the door for so many things. Elevated fastball, inside fastball, breaking ball in the dirt. Take your pick.
Zips a fastball up and in, trying to take off for second base, and the throw not in time. Centeno takes second base.
Is that a delayed?
I think it might have been. I looked up and he was on his way. We'll take a look here.
Shuffle, shuffle. Yeah, delayed steal. The delayed steal is when the ball hits the hitting area around home plate. You saw Centeno shuffle, shuffle on the pitch, and then bang. Got to go. I love the delayed steal.
Saw Margot do it quite a bit last year, 5 times during the season a year ago. Runner in scoring position does bury the breaking ball, and Lopez can't find it. And taking third base without a problem is Centeno.
Well, it goes with the territory when you're a curveball pitcher, and that's your pretty much go-to secondary pitch. You know, as a catcher, you can control yourself, the positioning to block that baseball. Once that ball hits and checks back up, you have no control whether it hits off your shoulder or your gut. Right?
Yes.
You have no control over that.
On the ground softly to first base. Hosmer will take it to the bag himself and end the inning. Don't punch me. 3-run home run for Odor.
It's ball like right there, or in the leg, or the gut.
Nothing as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Corey Spangenberg will lead things off for the Padres. He gets the start at second base today, and this is one of the big battles in spring training. Spangenberg and Carlos Asuaje. You see the numbers from last year so far this spring. 353 for Asuaje, but not bad at all for Corey Spangenberg at all. 273, the 3 home runs. Guys, one factor that may play into this, Franchi Cordero with the strained groin. Andy Green intimated that he may not break with the team to make sure that he's healthy. If not, that may make some more room for another left-handed bat. All along, the assumption has been it's going to be either Asuaje or Spangenberg, but who knows? Maybe it'll be both, guys.
Well, they certainly both played well enough to be on this team. That's for sure. This spring has been terrific for both. And it seems when Asuaje's not doing it, Spangenberg's doing it the next day, and back and forth. It's been quite a battle all spring. And you just never know. That's the way it works out. It seems like anytime you think it's going to be one or the other type scenario, all of a sudden you have an injury and a spot on the club, and that may be the case here.
That's why I don't like, or that's why I'm glad I don't make the decisions. I mean, that's a tough decision to make. Although I think it leans towards Asuaje, what he did last year.
High chopper to first, Gallo up to get it, and late covering at first base is Perez.
And that is something that Corey Spangenberg possesses, and a reason why he should be on the team is that speed. That high chopper there, the race is on. As Perez, he's kind of late getting over there, and not even close with the speedy Spangenberg. It's a big league knock.
Ward at first base to begin things here in the third straight inning. The Padres have had a leadoff base hit. First Margot, then Renfroe, now Spangenberg, and here's Rafi Lopez. A good spring, 316 during the spring. 2 homers and 3 runs batted in, and more questions about whether or not the Padres will carry 3 catchers. Whether or not Rafi Lopez will be on this roster to begin the season, along with A.J. Ellis and Austin Hedges. A great spring. Big league time last year with the Toronto Blue Jays. Possesses some pretty good power. Just a couple home runs during the spring.
It's always a luxury, I feel, if you could carry 3 catchers. But if that third catcher, even the second catcher, is versatile to where you can play him at a corner position, maybe in the outfield, or just to spell somebody at third base or first base or wherever. Over the course of the career, the short time that Rafi Lopez has been in the big leagues, mostly catching. Prior to this year, only 32 games, 1 game at first base, 1 game at third base.
The ball almost got away, but it hit the umpire. Throw gets away, but gets him in the leg, and Spangenberg cannot advance. Little hit and run, and it fouled off to the left. Down 0-2 now is Lopez. Remember last year, Padres broke camp with 4 catchers, if you include Christian Bethencourt.
I was just going to say, that's a blast from the past, huh?
Yeah. So it was kind of unheard of last year. Of course, A.J. Ellis joining the team this year after being in Miami last year, backing up J.T. Realmuto, another good young catcher. And doing so for Austin Hedges. They got to make a move to put him on the roster, though. He's not currently on the roster, and non-roster invitee, so stay tuned there, too. A lot of things taking place here in the next couple of days, and Andy Green even mentioned, as Bob Scanlon mentioned earlier, there's still a possibility of other guys becoming available on the waiver wire right now, and some guys being released by other organizations, and you may see some of them be picked up. Who knows?
Can you imagine being a general manager or even a coach? I mean, the dialogue between these coaches in meetings must be... Yeah. If one guy doesn't have an idea, the next guy does. Hey, consider this, consider that. I mean, hours upon hours of how to manipulate the roster, and who to keep and who to move.
This time of the spring, guys are becoming available. There's a guy that was on the Texas Rangers last year, Mike Napoli, went to camp with the Cleveland Indians, and he was released. And now available to all teams. Walk-off home run against the Padres last year in Texas, Mike Napoli.
Yeah. Would you say it would be fair to say he's more of an American League type guy, right?
Napoli. Could be a DH, yeah. Pretty good first baseman.
I was just going to say, play some first as well.
Originally a catcher, of course, Mike Socha in the Angels. Throw to first, and Spangenberg crossing over to get back to the bag. The lead was not terribly large.
Good to see Rafi try to pelt something down the left field line. They're playing him in the outfield to go that way. Off the bag at third base is Robinson. Lefty on lefty. There's a good chance he might try to go away here. Oh, inside. Not the best move, though, from Perez. I've contended all along, if you're a left-handed pitcher, there should be no excuse why you don't have a good move to first base. It's something you can practice day in and day out.
Grounded foul, hangs at 2-2 to Rafi Lopez. Mentioned his time in Toronto last year, 24 games. Well, Lopez with the Blue Jays last year at 4 home runs. Prior to that, his big league experience took place with the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago Cubs. Brief stops for Rafi Lopez, who's now 30 years of age, in Philadelphia. Lopez fouls it off, and it hangs at 2-2. Checking on his counterpart, Centeno, the catcher, got a piece of it. Lopez last year spent time at AA, AAA, and in the majors with the Blue Jays. Good battle here so far. And he strikes out as Martin Perez gets him. That's the second strikeout for Perez of the night. One down here in the third.
Got him with the sweeper, the sweeping breaking ball. Lefty on lefty, out in front, trying to hang on. At least make contact, followed off to get another crack at it, but not the case.
So one out, runner at first, and here is Brian Mitchell, who has pitched the first 3 innings so far. Originally a Yankees draft choice in 2009, and over in December. Dropped the bunt down, foul back. Well, in the same game here tonight, you got a DH for one team and the pitcher batting for another.
Interesting.
One of the things of spring training.
Yeah.
That you can do whatever you want to do, really, here.
Well, he's going to be in the rotation, right?
Yes.
And he wants to get reps at the plate. Andy Green saying my pitcher's going to hit. That's the way it's going to be during the season. Got to learn how to get those bunts down. Not a good attempt on that first one. Out of the zone. Get that bat head out in front. Let the ball hit the bat. Yep. Nice.
Well, jumping out there is Santano, and his throw to first is in time. Sacrifice complete as Spangenberg takes second base. The scoring position with 2 down here in the third inning, and that'll bring up Manuel Margot. Second time around now for the Padres against Martin Perez. Margot in the first inning with a single to left field, one of 3 Padres hits on the night. Rangers out hitting the Padres 6-3 as they bat here in the home half of the third inning. To the fastball for a strike. 92 in the gas. Door trying to keep Spangenberg close at second base, kind of cheating in behind him as Perez looking at him a couple times. Foul to the end of the Padres dugout. 0-2.
Trying to bury the fastball in the kitchen of Margot. He's got it set up for a changeup down and away here. Something out of the zone.
In there for strike 3. That froze Margot and ends the inning. Padres lead Spangenberg at second. Rangers have a 4-0 lead. Brian Mitchell, and kind enough to join us from the Padres dugout is Austin Hedges. Austin, how you doing?
Doing good, guys. How are you?
All right. Spring winding down here for you. I know you got hit by a pitch the other day. You doing all right?
Doing good. Doing better today. A little sore yesterday, but feeling much better today.
When you see Brian Mitchell, we talk about the rotation. What type of scouting do you do from the bench as opposed? And I'm sure you've caught him in bullpens, but what do you like about Brian Mitchell, and what do you see in the right-hander?
I like the fastball and the curveball the most. He can mix in a 2-seam and a 4-seam, which I like. Just keep hitters off balance, but that curveball's real. That curveball's really good. He can really spin it. So just kind of watching him tonight, seeing what's working, what's not working. I think he's making a lot of good pitches here tonight so far. Obviously, I think one mistake to Odor, but everything else I've been impressed with him.
Yeah, the one thing Don and I have noticed, Austin, is that a lot of those curveballs have been in the dirt, and Rafi's doing a fine job, the best he can to get in a good position. Now, my question to you is, what can a catcher do knowing that he's going to bury that in the dirt, as opposed to, you just concentrating to get in a good position, or is that an anticipation pitch that you have to think about each and every time?
For me, it doesn't matter who's on the mound. I think anytime I call a breaking ball or any off-speed pitch, I think it's more than anticipation for me to be a great blocker. I know it's going to be in the dirt. You know what I mean? Like, if I know it's going to be in the dirt and it ends up being a strike, that's easy. I can react and just catch the ball. But blocking, I think, is more than anticipation. You almost got to want it to be in the dirt. If I want it to be in the dirt and I want that pitch to be down there and I know I can block it, then I'm going to block it. But if I'm kind of ready to just catch the ball and then try and react to block, it doesn't work out too often.
Now this is ball 4, and down to first base goes Ruah to begin things here in the 4th inning. Austin Hedges joining us here. And Austin, you get a chance to catch so many different guys during the spring. You've caught a lot of the younger guys too, but how important is it for you to see some of these guys and catch them during spring training?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I want to get as many innings under my belt as much as they want to throw to me or throw to anybody that's going to catch them. Just seeing what their ball does, just seeing what works for them. I think just being out there with them, gaining that trust, that communication on and off the field is huge. So this time is really important, especially now that they're going 4 or 5 innings, just to learn how to attack guys how we want to attack during the season.
Austin, when you are catching younger pitchers that are on the roster in big league camp, in the bullpens, what kind of dialogue do you have with these guys after a bullpen session? Do you sit down with them and talk in great length? Do you talk about certain ways that you throw certain pitches in certain situations? What's it like, the talking between you and the youngsters, knowing that they're not going to be at the big league level?
I think one of the big things that we started doing this spring training was making them actually tell me which type of breaking ball they're going to throw. For instance, like, hey, I want to this is an 0-0 breaking ball, this is an 0-2 breaking ball, and I think that's huge for them to throw with conviction. All right, this one I need to get ahead with. I need this to be a strike, and this one I need to bounce. I need to put a guy away with that. So just having that conviction with every pitch and really dominating your bullpens, because that's their work time. That's so important. If they're working on the right things in their bullpen, then that translates onto the field. So I think taking that bullpen to the next level has been really big for us this year.
How closely do you work with Darren Balsley, the pitching coach?
Extremely close. He's taught me so much about game calling, just working with pitchers, understanding how guys work. I mean, he's the mastermind. He's awesome. So really so many things I've learned from him, and just trying to keep a continuous dialogue with him and the pitchers.
How many signs come from the bench, Austin, as opposed to you calling the game?
I call the whole game. It's basically 100%. I guess occasionally you might look over and greenier balls might flash a sign or something if they really want to pitch in a certain situation. But that's what the pregame meeting's for. That's what all the work you do with film, studying the scouting reports, studying these hitters, talking to Darren, talking to our pitchers. I think those adjustments should be made maybe in between innings or in between games. But when it comes to battle and we're out on the field, that's my job to call the right pitches and get our pitchers in the right place.
Do you have the notes on the wristband still? Are you working that?
We'll probably do that this year. It's nice, especially in the National League, having so many pinch hitters come in. You do so much reports on, it's basically 8 guys that you're really prepared for. But, if you want to win ball games, those pinch hitters are always coming up in big situations. So for me, having that little reminder on the wristband is nice, but ideally you want to be as prepared as possible before the game.
What's it been like having A.J. Ellis around during the spring?
He's been outstanding. Just having a veteran guy like him who really understands how to work with guys, how to call a game, how to prepare for a game. We've done a few film study sessions together. Just me watching him, how he does it, him walking me through how he does it has been huge, because I've got, the things that I worked on, especially last year, things I've learned from balls. But coming from a guy that's had so many successful years in the big leagues with so many good pitchers, it's been a very good learning experience for me.
Ground ball, base hit into left field, and headed towards third is Ruah. He will get there, and it's first and third now with 1 down in the inning. Also, I want to ask you about this mound visit deal this year. How big a deal is it to you, the new rules, and how many visits you can make to the mound?
It's going to be tough. It's been a learning curve for sure. You know, especially with in case there's a cross-up or something. There's some gray area that I hope the league can kind of figure out. But right now, I think that's what makes the preparation before the game so much more important. We got to be on the same page going into the game, because if we have that trust going into the game, then that dialogue can happen in between innings. If we're relying on things happening in the middle of the inning, then we might be in trouble. So, you know, we'll probably speed the game up a little bit, and I think it's just something we'll have to feel out throughout the year.
You know, Austin, I was just thinking, I'm guessing during the course of the season, as there's a stolen base, there's going to be times when you're standing behind home plate and there's a little lull in the action. All of a sudden, you're going to take a step towards, should I or shouldn't I, right? Don't you think?
I've already had that this spring.
Oh, really?
It's been a few times where I'm like, man, this is the right time to go out and talk to the guy. And it sucks just because, I mean, you want to be able to go out there and just talk to the guy about whatever, just something to pump him up or calm him down. And that's something that our pitchers are going to have to be able to do on their own. And that's what I was saying, that work before the game, that trust and that preparation is going to be huge. So it's definitely something we'll take pride in.
Yeah, you're right. In between innings is going to be really, really huge. Being on the same page as your pitcher. Hey, here's who's coming up. Here's a possible pinch hitter, righty, lefty, whatever the case may be. We got to be ready. We got to eliminate these visits. So, hey, we better be on the same page. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Are we going to hear the saxophone this year?
I was just going to ask that. That was my next question.
Are we going to have the saxy section?
Music, what are we doing?
I hope so. I think that's been the plan. I went on the Darren Smith show the other day, and he was kind of asking me about that, and I told him, you know what, if the fans want it, I'll ride with it. So I think they did a poll, and it seemed like most of the people in San Diego want to keep it saxy. So I guess we're going to keep it saxy.
You are a man of the people. Isn't that great?
Saxy it is. It was quite a section last year. That was unbelievable. I enjoyed that. I'm sure
fun.
You did as well.
That was fun.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. Good luck. Continued success.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Austin Hedges is joining us, and we thank him very much. As right now the Rangers are threatening with one out here on top 4-0.
Could not imagine being a big league catcher.
Dude.
There's a lot on their plate.
Yeah, there's a lot. Chu striking out for the second out of the inning. Fourth strikeout for Mitchell. Yeah, I'm not sure you can handle all that stuff.
You talking about me?
Yes.
Personally? Oh. What? You saying I'm dumb?
No.
Like I'm dumb? I'm smart. And I want respect.
It's just something that's difficult.
Come on, Mike.
All I'm saying is it'd be tough. I didn't mean to single you out. That was wrong. I'm sorry.
You're right. There is so much going on.
There's too much.
How about, you know what? I'm sure.
For the third, and back safely, just back is Rua at third base.
Have you gotten a chance to talk to Darren? Because I'm sure he'd share it with you. Have you looked at one of his scouting reports prior to a series?
I have not seen a scouting report. I'm
Dude,
sure it's in
you got
depth.
He'll show you. You've got to see it. It is unbelievable. I mean, down to every little detail. Hitter's weaknesses, strengths, how we should attack this guy. And that's something Austin has to know, along with the pitching staff. It's not just, like the old days. Okay, up and in and down and away. Go get him. Right?
No, I mean, he's part of the coaching staff, really.
Yeah.
Austin Hedges means an extension of the coaching staff. That's what he was talking about, making it so difficult. He can't go out there and coach the pitcher now. Trying to help him through a situation because the number of trips limited now to the mound, of course, 6 a game. And big cut there by Gallo, nothing but, and it's 1-2.
And a definite ball out of the zone. Just goes to show you that he will be hacking. A couple of runners in scoring position. Wanted to add on to that 4-0 lead. You do not have to throw him a strike.
No, you do not. Padres shifting on the right side on him. And the outfield for him to pull. And he takes a hack at that and fouls it back to the screen. Homer back in the first inning, his 4th home run of spring training. And put the Rangers on the board 1-0. 1 of 2 Rangers home runs in this game. Moved now to Odor with a 3-run shot in the 3rd inning. Pitch 83 from Mitchell.
Oh, we got crossed out.
And this will get away. From third base comes Rua. Throw to the plate is not in time. And the Rangers collect their 5th run of the night on top 5-0.
Don, I thought I saw a curveball, backdoor curveball, because the last sign that was given was a 2, and he kind of pointed towards the outside part of the plate. And it looked like with the way Lopez, watch, he wants the high fastball, It's down. You know what? I could be wrong there after looking at Lopez.
Just a mislocation.
Just a mislocation,
yep.
probably, yeah. Yeah, there's no way he'd be set up high like that for a curveball, so you're right.
And the runner at second takes third in Tochi, who's now 90 feet away with 2 down. And a full count now to Gallo. And the Rangers here plating a run in the 4th inning on top 5-0. Foul at the plate as Gallo stays alive. Got a piece of himself again. He's got that protective guard on the front right leg. It looks like he may have gotten a piece of that. Still hurt though as he was walking around a little bit. There it is. Protecting the top of the foot and the ankle, but still made contact. In the air to left center field. Back goes Perella at the wall, and that's going to carry out of here. Second home run of the night for Joey Gallo. This one's a 2-run shot, and Texas jumps on top 7-0. That one just getting over the wall in left center field. And Gallo's gone deep for the 5th time this spring, 2nd time tonight.
First time to the pull side. He takes this curveball. Wow, that is a curveball that's hanging up and out of the zone, outer half, and he stays on it long enough, stays back just enough to send it to the opposite field. 385 plus from the side. He goes up with the hands, gets enough of that ball to send it on its way, not for the pop-up to left center field. Wow.
Even a ball he does not square up completely, he takes it out of the yard. That's his 3rd hit of the ball game.
So a fastball that he didn't get up out of the zone enough to right field, a curveball that left up in the zone, just kind of rolling to hit at the opposite field.
Padres do have action in the pen for the first time tonight. Mitchell running into trouble here in the 4th inning. Surrendered 7 runs so far in his outing. And now dealing with the likes of Adrian Beltre. Beltre tonight has grounded out to second and singled to left. Sidewinding Simber in the pen right now, warming up. Simber, who has been fun to watch during the spring, had a very good spring training. Pitch 90 for Mitchell. And it is grounded up the middle. Villanueva to his left. Toss to first off the mark. Hosmer goes to get it and then retreats to the bag for the out. A 3-run inning for the Rangers on top 7-0.
place called Cooper City. You know, really for me, it was all baseball growing up. My older brother, I kind of wanted to do everything he did, and my father was a coach for his Little League team. So as soon as school was done, I would, you know, race to their practices, and you know, it's kind of everyone's love down there in South Florida was baseball.
Well, get to know Eric Hosmer a little bit better inside San Diego Sports Monday night after the Padres-Chihuahuas game. Right here on Fox Sports San Diego, the chance to sit down with Eric Hosmer for about an hour and talk over really his entire, it was kind of meet Eric Hosmer, if you will. Went back to his youth playing baseball, and his dad being a big part of his youth baseball. Look forward to all that on Monday night inside San Diego Sports.
And I'm sure it would be fair to say that knowing Eric Hosmer and the kind of personality he is, that hour interview felt like maybe 8 minutes.
It went by very quickly. He is a tremendous interviewer. As this one grounded to third, Robinson picks it and throws out Hosmer. You very quickly can tell what the Padres liked about Eric Hosmer. Great charm, and looking forward to watching him play on a daily basis. Tremendous young man.
All business between the lines, leadership, qualities.
One down here for Jose Perella, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Martin Perez has been quite good tonight. He works here in the fourth inning with one down.
I know I'm going back in time a little bit, but there was one player that I played with in 1991 with the Braves that you could have stamped the heart and soul of the team. And that was the acquisition that John Sherholtz, when he brought Terry Pendleton to the team. I don't know if you know Terry Pendleton, but all those great years with the Cardinals, right? And then he comes over to the Braves, and he was an integral part of that team. Sid Breen, of course, David Justice had a great rookie year prior to that year.
It was a long throw for Robinson and a nice play. And a speedy Perella, a long throw, set himself in a nice good throw across the diamond in time. So Terry Pendleton was the key there, is what you're saying.
Terry Pendleton was MVP that year in 1991, leading the Braves to the World Series. Of course, losing the Game 7 to the Minnesota Twins. And just the way he carried himself. And, you know, Terry wasn't the type of guy who was like rah-rah all the time. But he demanded and commanded that respect to where if he said 2 words,
it was enough.
You better take heed to what he says or his actions. It meant a lot. And you know what it's like when guys are trying too hard, right? They try to be that guy, and it's just, oh, really, dude, save it, right? Either you have it or you don't.
Lead by example in a lot of cases. How you go about your business. Right. The Padres had a captain, per se, at the time that you
Gary Templeton
was a captain.
He was our team captain.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He did not wear the C on the jersey.
No, but he was dubbed team captain.
Do you think you need a team captain?
No, not necessarily. No. I think there are times when collectively there's some guys that lead by example.
Austin Hedges certainly seems to be one of those guys. No question. Certainly with the pitching staff being an extension kind of the coaching staff, as you talked about earlier.
All those days in Boston, you had Veritek, right? With the C on his chest.
He did wear the C.
How did that go over?
It was pretty well received. But again, he was not, as you mentioned, a rah-rah guy who talked a lot. It was more about what he did on the field and how he went about his business and how guys looked at the way he went about his business. And it was more about what he did on the field.
Right. And let me guess that whether it's he says something like maybe he says something in the dugout so everybody can hear maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks.
A couple words is enough.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
If the captain wanted to talk to you, it was generally, you know, you're listening. High drive to center field. Tachi going back onto the dirt of the track and does not catch it. That ball is gone. It's off the center field batter's eye and still running, not sure is Renfroe. And they didn't even throw to third. That ball's gone, the indication. And Ryan Blakeney, the second base umpire. So you can go all the way around, Hunter. That's home run number 6 of the spring, and the Padres are on the board. He wasn't sure either.
High fastball, outer third, off the bat. Looks like a pop-up. Well, does this ball change direction?
Ooh, I don't know.
I think it hit the padding, didn't it?
Sure looked like
below the yellow line.
Yeah. I think replay during the spring.
Yeah.
So
I think you could see that baseball hit that padding below the yellow line and rattle that padding. Well, it's a hang with him for Perez.
First run that he has relinquished in his outing. That run on 4 hits in the game, and had the first 2 outs of the inning pretty quickly.
That was a catchable ball.
I think it was.
Watch where the ball hits, right?
Oh, yeah.
There. Yep.
So the umpire incorrectly calling that a home run. Did he go? No. Christian Villanueva flied out to right field in the second inning. 0 for 1.
Must be nice for a player to get word from his manager that he's going to break camp with the club, huh? And go west rather than east.
Got to be the toughest job a manager has, though, at the end of spring training, to send some guys out who've been battling all spring. They're not going to be on the club to begin the year. Always see how quickly that changes. So much is made of the opening day roster. It can change virtually day 2 with injuries and changes being made. Maybe the bullpen gets used too much, and somebody gets called up. It happens fast. Swing and a miss, and Villanueva's down on strikes. Home run for Hunter Renfroe gets the Padres on the board. To the 5th we go. 7-1 Rangers. San Diego Padres Hall of Fame. Great touch by the organization. The induction set for May the 12th for the Padres and the Cardinals, as Kevin Towers, a Padres Hall of Famer.
Good choice. Definite Hall of Famer, the architect between the teams in '96 and '98. Sad loss, that's for sure. Not just only in San Diego, but throughout baseball. And there's the team that won it in Atlanta to advance to the World Series against the Yankees.
We'll play along here to the 5th inning back in Peoria at the Peoria Sports Complex. The pitcher for the Padres, Adam Simber, comes into the game here after 4 innings tonight from Brian Mitchell.
The funky delivery, you got to like it. We talk about Nikita going from way down there, almost scraping the knuckles on the dirt. 49 games in double and triple A last season for Adam. Only 10 walks as opposed to 65 strikeouts. You talk about a good ratio. I just have to imagine as a hitter, the way he sets up and his delivery, his arm action, very tough. Very, very tough to pick up that baseball.
And tonight, Brian Mitchell went 4 innings, giving up 8 hits and 7 runs. Fly ball headed out towards right center field. Margot and Renfroe. And it'll be Margot just shy of the warning track. And the first out here of the 5th inning. And we're talking about Cimber's delivery.
Well, when he sets up, he kind of shows his name and number towards the hitter, and then down. Okay, you still can't pick up the baseball, and then you look down near the right knee around the dirt. By that time, the ball's up on you. It's just very unorthodox, unconventional delivery that hitters don't see each and every day.
1 out here in the inning, and here is Centeno, who takes strike 1. Kind of running away from him. Down the left field line, headed towards the left field corner, and a foul ball as it rattles around down there. Comes back onto the playing surface. (7-1) Rangers on top. And a run in the first, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth. It's been a big night tonight for Joey Gallo. Has 2 home runs. Solo shot and a 2-run home run. He's had a 3-hit night. And add that to the 3-run home run by Rougned Odor in the 3rd inning. And big offensive attack tonight for the Texas Rangers. Straight back, and it hangs at 1 and 2. Cimber has certainly opened some eyes here during the spring. 27-year-old from Portland, Oregon, now resides in Seattle, Washington. Spent the year between AA San Antonio and AAA El Paso. 2.90 ERA a year ago. It's grounded right to the shortstop Villanueva to his left. Handles out number 2. 2-away here in the 5th.
You know what I noticed about Cimber? When he gets set up, look at his left foot. When he comes set right at the belt, his left foot is pointing directly towards center field. I mean, I just blew out an ACL trying to do it.
You can't even stand that
his
way.
foot on the I'm sorry, his left foot. I'm sorry, his left foot. I stand corrected. Watch when he comes set. That toe on his left. Look at. Oh my God! Ah!
You could pull your ACL.
Oh. I just noticed it the last time we took the shot from center field. You could see that foot.
It's heading in the wrong direction, like it's not supposed to do that. You're not as flexible as you once were.
You think?
Oh yeah, that is. This is foul back to the screen. Ball and 2 strikes here to Profar, who has singled to center and grounded out to first base. Second year in a row that Cimber spent time at AA and AAA. Did the same in 2016. Down the left field line, out of play. Cimber was a 9th-round pick in 2013 by the Padres, and on-roster invitee to spring training. His favorite movie is Forrest Gump.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just can't stop thinking about Jenny.
Fouled off to the screen. Favorite band? The Beatles.
Good choice.
He has a Labradoodle named Griffey.
Love Labradoodles because they don't shed.
Exactly.
Very smart.
Only 2 strikes here to Profar. And a swing and a miss. Profar goes down swinging. Looks bad on strike 3. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Zimmer.
I was running. Lieutenant Dan. Back for the first 15,000 fans in attendance at opening weekend game against the Brewers. On Friday, you'll receive the 2018 calendar featuring your favorite Padres and their 4-legged friends. There's a Labradoodle.
Labradoodle right there.
Grab your tickets for Friday's game at Padres.com. Who's a good boy?
Chase Headley leading it off and taking a strike. What are you talking about?
I love canines. See, I love dogs.
I'm thinking about a Labradoodle because I'm allergic to most dogs, and I'm told that I won't be allergic to a Labradoodle.
Yeah, well, one of the things, there's a couple, twofold. One is very, very smart animal.
Okay.
Secondly, they don't shed.
That's great. He looks smart.
Look, he's a happy boy.
Chase Headley getting his second plate appearance of the game, bounced into a 5-4-3 double play in the second inning. Martin Perez working here into the 5th. 63 pitches deep into his outing, just the one blemish. The home run by Hunter Renfroe in the 4th inning. Renfroe's had a good game, single and a homer in this game. And Padres have been held to 4 hits. Ball 4, and Headley will head on down to first base. First base on ball surrendered by Perez in this outing.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Isn't that a pretty animal?
Very much.
That's awesome. Look at how furry those paws are.
Leadoff walk for Headley. And here's Corey Spangenberg. Reached on an infield hit in the 3rd. He's got one of the 4 Padres hits in the game. Padres will try to stay out of a double play here. Martin Perez has been able to induce 2 double plays in the game. And Hosmer to ground into 1 in the 1st. Headley to ground into 1 in the 2nd. Here's Spangenberg with a runner at 1st and nobody out in the 5th. To center, and by the dive of the shortstop Profar into center field. Spangenberg has his 2nd hit of the night. First 2 Padres have reached here in the 5th inning.
Sounds like he snapped a shillelagh there. gladly take that knock. Fighting it off. Infield at double play depth. A little loopers directly over the back. Does Profar make contact with that? Might have looked like the glove got on it. With multiple base runners here for San Diego.
2 on, nobody out, and it brings up Rafi Lopez. Rafi, a strikeout victim in the 3rd inning. Went swinging. 1 of 4 strikeouts in the game for Martin Perez. This to center field. Tochi going back at the track at the wall, and that ball is gone. Wow, that cleared the batter's eye in center field. A blast for Rafi Lopez, his 3rd home run of the spring, and this is a 3-run shot to make it 7-4 now, Texas. That was a blast to center by Rafi Lopez.
This one is on its way to Flagstaff. I mean, I don't know how tall that batter's eye is, but that's over the batter's eye. High fastball, all over it. Yeah, the wind's blowing out a little bit, but anyway you look at it, wind or no wind, that ball was scalded.
4-10 out there, and he clears the wall. Now Matt Caesar pinch hitting. They're in the pitcher's spot and taking strike 1. Caesar a 200 average during the spring. Couple of home runs, 5 runs batted in. Ground ball to short and Profar. First out here, the 5th inning. And Caesar retired 6-3. Turn over the lineup here and bring up Manuel Margot. He's given up 2 home runs. He gave up a solo shot to Hunter Renfroe. Now a 3-run home run to Rafi Lopez here in the 5th inning. Padres getting a run in the 4th. So far 3 here in the 5th. And here is Margot in his 3rd bat of the game. The ground one to short. Profar. And that bounce come up to him, and reaching at first base would be Margot. Went to the backhand to try to grab it off the glove, and able to grab it 2nd try, but nothing he could do with it by that point. Too much speed for Margot.
You know, I think for any shortstop in that situation, when you have Manuel Margot motoring down the first base line, you may have a tendency to maybe rush it a little bit. I'm not saying Profar had to rush it. That ball hits the heel of the glove up. By that time, no chance.
Ruled a base hit for Margot. 2nd hit of the game for Manuel. And on with 1 away for Eric Hosmer. Hosmer batting in the 2 spot tonight for the Padres. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the 1st inning. Grounded out to 3rd base in the 4th inning. '75th pitch of the outing coming up for the Texas starter. Easily back is Margot. Rangers have action in the pen. Jake Diekman warming. First action we've seen out there. Throw it first. They got him picked off. As Margot will be run back towards first base and tagged out by Profar. So it looked like he was guessing there perhaps at first base and guessed wrong. Picked off. 2 down.
Well, anytime there's a left-hander on the mound, you know, if you wait until the ball goes home, it's going to be a little bit too late. So you're guessing on that first movement. There it is. It's the slide step move towards first base. Now caught in the pickle. As kids, we called it hot box. Hey, want to play some hot box? You get caught in the hot box and trying to get back to the base, and That's what we called it back in the Midwest. What'd you guys call it?
It was pickle for us.
Yeah, we called it hot box.
It's actually a caught stealing in that instance with him taken off. So the second out for Martin Perez. And Hosmer now with the count of 1-1. Shoots it the other way, but foul down the left field line, out of play. Knock on wood, it has been a pretty good spring as far as injuries go. That's a big thing as a manager, just trying to get out of here healthy. Line to center for Hosmer and a base hit. First time he has been aboard tonight. This one comes with 2 down in the 5th inning. Looks like that's going to be the night for Hosmer.
On the big lefty. Gets a pitch that's up and serves it over the infielder's head. Quick to that baseball. And high fives all the way around.
Hudson Potts will take over at first base and run as they come out to check on the starter, Martin Perez.
That's a mound visit. Doug Brocale, former Padre, pitching coach for the Texas Rangers.
Jose Perella coming up here next. He's running into some trouble here in the middle innings. Running the 4th, 3 in the 5th. Potts running at first, and Perella ready to face Perez for the 3rd time tonight. He has struck out and grounded out. And takes a look at strike 1 over the outside corner. Perella coming into tonight's action, hitting at .444 during the spring. Last year overall hitting at .288 during the regular season. One of the most consistent hitters the Padres had all last year. Pitch headed up there, and he went out of his shoes after that one, down 0-2.
Trying to go for the 2-run shot.
10 home runs for Perella last year, 40 RBIs. 347 on base percentage for Perella. More time at second base during the spring this year than we saw last year during spring training, and certainly more than what we saw during the regular season. Primarily in left field every day for the Padres. Towards shortstop, and Profar will go to second base on the force out. That ends the inning, but a long home run for Rafi Lopez. Straightaway center over the batter's eye. It's a 3-run shot, gets the Padres closer. Rangers on top 7-4 at the end of 5.
Friday nights live on Fox and FS1. It's a new season with new superstars. Fridays starting this June.
Well, the closer, Brad Hand, comes into the game here for the Padres in the top of the 6th inning. It was a tough situation for a closer to kind of get work during spring training. Certainly not the same type of situations to be facing during the regular season.
Between the years, try to keep the same intensity. Obviously, the crowd is not as big. It's not a safe situation, as you said, but trying to hold these Texas Rangers, work on location, work on stuff, get a good workout in, and call it a night for Brad Hand.
21 out of 26 save opportunities secured last year by Hand, and a grounder back up the middle into center field. Ryan Rua is aboard for the 3rd time tonight. After walking the first 2 plate appearances, has a single back up the middle here to begin the 6th inning. So lead runner on for the Rangers, and that'll bring up Drew Robinson. Yeah, struck out twice, swinging in the 2nd, swinging in the 4th inning, and all that was against the Padres starter tonight, Brian Mitchell, with the first 4 innings.
What are you doing?
Strike over the inside corner, 0-2. If the truth be told, I just checked my Fitbit.
Right.
And I am
You're
short.
Fat, you mean your fat bit?
I am short by about 800 steps to get to 10,000.
So show everybody how you cheat.
I'm now cheating.
Doing
this
that
works.
It registers steps.
Yes, that was 10 steps, and I haven't even moved. So I am cheating on my Fitbit. Or Fatbit, whatever you call it.
That's not
But it works, and I'm almost there. I mean, it is. I mean, my heart rate is raising by doing this.
Is it?
Yes. So I mean, it's not quite walking, but I am exercising. For the first, and Rua back to the bag.
How many you at?
Right now, 9,271. One and 2 to Drew Robinson. There's a double play depth.
This is a perfect opportunity, lefty on lefty. You know, as a left-handed hitter, Robinson maybe trying to pull something. Infield is playing him to pull a little bit with Chase Headley way off the line at 3rd. Pound him away, roll something over, hope for 2. Yes, he did.
Check at 3rd. No, he did not. Not really all that close.
You don't think?
No.
I'll bet you if you slowed that down from the side.
If he makes contact, it's a double. I know. We'll get a look here in a moment. Payoff pitch from Brad Hand. Runner goes. Pitch is in there for a strike, and the throw down turns into a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Nicely done. Robinson striking out for the 3rd time in the ball game tonight. And Rua gets thrown out by A.J. Ellis, who just took over behind the dish.
And a breaking ball at that. A.J. Ellis holds it long enough to give the umpire the look at it, and then the tag. Villanueva at second base, the shortstop applying the tag for out number 2.
A.J. Ellis taking over for Rafi Lopez behind the plate. Hudson Potts stayed in the game at first base. And the Padres have a couple of new outfielders. As Hand gets strike 1 in there to Carlos Tochi. there by Ellis. Travis Jankowski now in left field. Matt Caesar, who pinch hit, has taken over in center field for the Padres. Line to center, and here comes Caesar diving head first. Can't catch it. Yes, he can. Nice play. Looked like he may have trapped it out there in center, but no. Caesar comes up with it. Nice diving play head first for Matt Caesar on the sinking line drive. To head to El Paso. We'll be going there after the ball game here Sunday, and we'll have our next telecast coming to you from El Paso, Texas. The Chihuahuas, the AAA team for the Padres against the Padres, and that'll be Monday at 5 p.m. That'll be our next broadcast, and we look forward to that on Monday night. And is that a Chihuahua right there? I don't know.
You know, I don't know. Is that a long-haired Chihuahua?
He's tired, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of sleepy. Hunter Renfroe is going to lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
By the way, since we're talking Chihuahuas and dogs, we saw the Labradoodle. Your homework, if you haven't seen it yet, and it's old movie, Best in Show. Have you ever seen it?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
This guy is eating his
leash. Yeah.
I want off this thing, and I'm going to chew it off.
I want to go.
Renfroe's third at bat of the night was singled and homer. Home run to center field is the last time up. The 6th home run of the spring for Hunter Renfroe. He's had 15 hits during the spring, 10 extra base hits, and 6 homers, and now he gets hit by a pitch. Nowhere to go. The batter to begin things here in the 6th inning.
Well, when spring training is going on, the last thing you want is to get hurt, and that one bounces and hits him below the left knee. So no harm, no foul right there. Tough to get out of the way because, you know, you're set in the batter's box. You take that stride, then you got to get up off the ground and try to get out of the way. Not the best thing, but luckily nobody gets hurt on that play.
As a night for Renfroe, on for the 3rd time in the game. Tirso Ornelius will run at first base. Villanueva pops one up, foul ground third base way. Alberto just into the game, and Rangers third baseman makes the catch for the first out here of the 6th inning. New pitcher is Jake Diekman, taking over for the 6th after Martin Perez went the first 5 innings of the game. His numbers from a year ago.
Bullpen struggled last year for Texas. Diekman was with the Phillies. This kid throws very, very hard.
Takes over for Martin Perez, who went the first 5 innings, giving up 8 hits and 4 runs, including 2 home runs. One for Hunter Renfroe, and the big blast for Rafi Lopez, a 3-run shot. Walked 1, struck out 4. Rangers into their pen. There's a check at first base on Ornelas.
That's going to be a big question mark for these Rangers. You got Alex Claudio, the closer, left-hander. You got Matt Bush, right? He throws about 100. 8th inning setup guy. Diekman is slated to possibly go the 7th inning, the left-hander. And then Keone Kela. Remember, he's got a good live right arm as well, so he's a mid-reliever. But bridging that gap to the closer, and even I think the closer role for Texas is going to be a question mark.
As you said, a very bad year last year for the Rangers pen, and looking to improve on that this season.
Strikeouts per 9 innings for the pen. Very, very low for the starters. Very low. Worst in baseball for the starters.
Last year, in terms of earned run average for the pen, 4.64. With the Tigers, Mets, and Reds with a higher earned run average as a pen. So they scored some runs, but they gave up some runs, especially late. Headley, an off-balance swing, evens the count at 2-2. Chase tonight has bounced into a 5-4-3 double play. Walked and scored. Liner that is caught. It's shortstop by Profar. Fully extended, makes the lunging play. Nice grab at short by Profar. Robs Headley of a base hit, 2 down.
Nothing you can do there, Chase. This ball off the right-handed bat of Headley is hooking. Profar extends. Generally speaking, shortstops, they use a smaller glove, right? Not a lot of webbing there, not a lot of glove to work with, but great extension by Profar. Checks the runner at first base. It's big league play.
2 down here in the 6th inning for Corey Spangenberg. He's had a nice night. 2 hits in the game, 2 for 2. And has scored a run, both the hits singles. On the ground towards second base, Odor will go to first for the out. That ends the inning. They played 6 tonight from Peoria. Rangers on top 7-4.
Padre fans, you're going to like this. Grab your smartphone and send us your video question. Use the hashtag BuzzTheBooth, and Don and I will answer it during an upcoming broadcast. Have some fun. That's hashtag BuzzTheBooth.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
It's
and the great thing, video question.
Ooh, even better. We'll answer anything.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Now, Makita checking into the game. He's been fun to watch all spring long.
Doesn't throw hard. He throws that big frisbee breaking ball up there about mid-50s. He'll get guys way out in front. He'll buzz the 81-mile-an-hour fastball. And last season in Japan at 62 2/3, a nice ERA at 2.3. And the one thing you look at is walks to strikeouts. That ratio, my goodness, he is around the plate. A lot of swings and misses. 35 strikeouts. It's fun to watch.
Ready to work to the Rangers here in the top of the 7th inning. Shin-Soo Choo, first batter that he will face. Choo 0 for 3 in the ball game. He struck out, grounded into a double play, and grounded out. Foul back, and it's 1-2. About 30 miles an hour difference between the curveball and his fastball. And the fastball is not overpowering, but it sure seems a lot faster than it is after been looking at the breaking stuff.
You know why I think Makita's going to have some success when he gets to 2 strikes? Elevated fastball. Everybody's geared to launch, send the ball out of the ballpark, and even though, like you said, it's only 80-81, if he goes up in the zone, I think he'll get some swings and misses.
That was 79.
That's the Makita cheese.
Two and 2 here to Shin-Soo Choo. And that almost hit him. Sailing in on him. Andy Green not having Makita face the National League West during spring training has been interesting. So they haven't had a look. Swing and a miss, and Choo strikes out. There you go. The fastball at 80 miles an hour by him.
He wants it knee high. It's up around the letters of Texas on the jersey. The swing and the miss.
Preston Becky is going to bat here with 1 down in the inning. That took over for Joey Gallo at first base and takes over for him in the 2 spot in the order. Strike 1. 58 miles an hour. Back to the gas at 80. Swing and a foul tip for strike 3, held on to by A.J. Ellis. Back-to-back strikeout for Makita. 2 down here in the 7th.
There's the high fastball again at 80.
But the reaction is like he's throwing 95.
Yeah, exactly. That ball's by him.
Brent Nicholas coming up for the first time in this game. Batting an Adrian Beltre spot. Last year at AAA, hitting at .311 in 69 games.
You know, after an at-bat against Makita, guys got to be going back to the dugout just shaking their heads. It's like, really?
Popped up. Dusty Coleman racing into shallow left, backpedaling and making the catch. That'll end the inning. An impressive inning for Makita. 7th inning stretch, 7-4 Rangers. First home run by Hunter Renfroe, straightaway center field. And a solo shot, then a 3-run shot for Rafi Lopez, straightaway center, cleared everything out there in the batter's eye. And for Rafi Lopez, his 3rd home run of the spring, after Hunter Renfroe connected on his 6th home run of the spring. Padres trailing 7-4 as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Anthony Gopes into the game here now for the Rangers.
Well, it is spring training, and you like to see a team battle back after being down 7-0. 0-2 record last season in A-ball for Anthony Gose. More strikeouts than innings pitched, but a little high on the walk side. So a little wildness in this left-hander.
A.J. Ellis leading it off here for the Padres. His first plate appearance, took over defensively for Rafi Lopez an inning ago. Two and one to A.J. Ellis. Matt Caesar waiting on deck, has already had a plate appearance. Last year's not a lot of time, 51 games total for A.J. Ellis, backing up Realmuto in Miami. Talking to him earlier in the spring, he's certainly glad to be back in spring training in Arizona again. Florida spring training is kind of spread out.
Oh.
After so many years you've been with the Dodgers, of course, coming here to Arizona, went last year to Jupiter with the Marlins and did enjoy that experience.
So the teams in Florida play a lot of repeated against the same team. That's what guys, what I'm trying to say.
Not really. You play everybody. You move around. I mean,
So
you could be in Dunedin one day and Jupiter the next.
So just
3
because you're on
hours
the East Coast or West Coast of Florida doesn't mean
No.
you.
I mean, you will play those teams closer to you a little bit more.
So what's the longest trip in Florida?
It's probably from Dunedin to probably St. Lucie, top where the Mets are on the East Coast.
How many hours is that?
That's about a 4.5, 5-hour trip.
Wow.
Yeah. You make some trips. It's a couple hours one way, a couple hours another way. And as AJ said, he, as the backup catcher last year, he was on all those trips. Well, he walks to begin things here in the 7th inning.
In all those years in Florida, did you ever make a trip to Vero Beach?
I did. We were there for the last year that the Dodgers were there.
Remember the
The
dugouts?
dugouts, there's nothing around. They were outside. They were like
It's just a bench.
yeah, it was like Little League.
And the fans were right behind you.
Yes,
There's
yeah.
a chain link fence about, what, 4 feet high? And then the fans were right behind you.
There's a pop-up around the bag at second. And that is out number 1. So Ellis at first base, 1 away. And coming up here is Travis Jankowski. Travis took over in left field for Jose Perella, but he bats in Manuel Margot's spot. Last year, after fracturing his foot, a total of 27 games in the big leagues, and some of them playing with that fractured foot, as it turned out, about 7 games. Ooh. Late reaction to that pitch up and in.
Well, Ghost has a good arm, that's for sure. That ball will get on top of you quickly.
Ghost trying to make his way back here as a pitcher in the big leagues after playing in the outfield and infield in the big leagues. Someone who's with the Toronto Blue Jays as an outfielder, infielder. This is his second year of pitching. Last year was his first year in the Rangers organization as a pitcher. He's on a minor league deal with the Rangers. Fly ball into shallow right field. Cole coming in from right and off the glove at second base. Heading to second and getting there is A.J. Ellis. He had to wait. Camped out between first and second. It looked like that ball was going to be caught. But it is dropped out there, and Ellis takes second base.
Well, as a runner, you caught. Ball is up. You face the play. Name and number for A.J. Ellis towards the catcher. As soon as that ball is touched and dropped, got to go. Force is still on at second base.
Brings up Hudson Potts. Pinch ran for Eric Hosmer. Took over at first base for Hosmer. Last year in A-ball, 125 games. Hit 253, but hit 20 home runs. And has found his way into quite a few spring training games.
What are the chances of this kid's nickname being Potsy?
Probably pretty good.
That's a great nickname.
Ellis at second, Jankowski at first. The 0-2 is up high.
Or Annie, dating myself. Remember Annie Potts, Designing Women?
No.
16 or Pretty in Pink. Along with Molly Ringwald.
Center field shut pretty well. Tavares going back at the wall, and that ball is off the wall. Pretty vicious ricochet. Ellis coming around to score from second. Jankowski with a good speed. He'll score. And trying to come all the way around is Hudson Potts, and he will score. So a possible inside the park home run here. I don't know what happened out there in center field. The ricochet was nasty. I think there was a bobble as well. We'll see if he gets credit for the inside the park 3-run home run, which would tie this game 7-7 here in the 7th inning.
This kid's got some pop. He gets extended. It's a fastball. Now let's watch the way this one is played. Karam. Nobody's backing up. Oh, there's the possible error. Possible. Do we have a Little League home run here? Or is there an error?
They have not ruled yet. We'll have to wait on that. I think there's an error there.
You know, in the time that he's shown some at-bats, this kid's got some pop.
Now he's tied this game 7-7.
Well, he got extended. It's a Little League home run.
It is an inside the park home run. Dusty Coleman batting for the first time. Coleman took over at third base defensively. It looked like Tavares center fielder got too close to the wall there. And the ricochet off the wall was nasty. It was a good 30-40 feet away from him.
And what's the lesson there? I mean, as a corner outfielder, no matter where that ball's hit, especially if you see your center fielder going back, you got to go that way, don't you, to back up?
Yeah. Get back there at the bottom of the wall, which is the hard portion of the wall, and then caromed off. Coleman swings and misses and strikes out for the second out of the inning. First strikeout for Anthony Gose. 2 down here in the 7th. Tirso Ornelas coming up here. Ornelas took over in right field for Hunter Renfroe. And just joining us tonight, Renfroe homered again. Hunter connecting on his 6th home run of the spring. Back up the middle for Nealis into center field. Has himself a 2-out base hit. Bring up Christian Villanueva.
Love to see the kids getting some at-bats and throwing some production out there. Potts with the inside the park home run. Nealis with the single to center.
Villanueva's 4th at bat of this game. 0-for-3. His fly to right, struck out and fouled out. Villanueva starting at shortstop tonight. We only saw him at third base last year in his big league debut, but trying him out at short, trying to find a backup possibility for Freddie Galvis. Galvis did play 162 games last year, so he likes to play every day. But the other utility players the Padres have, they really don't have a shortstop. So I'm trying to see if Villanueva is a possibility for that role. Down 0-2. It's amazing. This is the 5th year in a row the Padres have a new shortstop on opening day.
That is remarkable. You want stability at that position, obviously.
Let's say Ramirez 2 years ago. Last year, Eric Ibar. This year, Freddie Galvis. First to a 2 down here in the Padres 7th inning, and now a tie game. High drive to left field for Christian Villanueva. When it comes down, Padres will have a lead. That is a 2-run home run for Christian Villanueva, and the Padres take a 9-7 lead. Second home run of the inning turned out to be a 5-run inning to this point, and Christian Villanueva, with his 4th home run of the spring, gives the Padres a lead. Padres were down 7-0 in this game. Now lead 9-7.
Fastball, 2-2 fastball, middle in, and Villanueva gets the hands in, sends it on its way. Boy, he jumped on that fastball. Wow.
Anthony Gose roughed up here in the 7th inning, and that is going to be the night for Gose as he heads off. Padres trailed 7-0, enjoy a 9-7 lead. The pitching change from Peoria. With a couple of outs, and a new pitcher now into the game as Gose leaves. And in comes Cody Palmquist. 34 games, 2 starts total. Last year, time between AA and AAA. The Rangers organization, 4.08 earned run average.
And mostly a reliever and high on the strikeouts.
Time in Frisco and Round Rock a year ago.
I'm guessing from this kid, good downward playing from this tall right-hander. Starts him off with a nice breaking ball for a strike.
Rudy Herron batting here, the 8th member of the Padres to bat in the 7th inning.
Fryer's shown some fight tonight.
Down 7-0. Not late activity here. It's been a 5-run bottom of the 7th inning so far for the Padres. Ron's first plate appearance of the game. Batting at Chase Headley's spot. Headley had gone over 2 with a walk and a run scored. Things at 1-2. Martin Perez started the game. Will be part of the decision here for the Texas Rangers. 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, walked a batter, and struck out 4 in his start tonight for Texas. Well, Brian Mitchell gave up 7 runs in 4 innings for the Padres, but he is now off the hook in this game. Little pop up around second base, and it turns into a ground ball. Front plate on the hop, and reaching at first base is Herron. It's a base hit.
I thought for sure that ball had a chance to be caught on the fly. Profar, see where he's playing, back in the cut of the grass, it's short, and then he kind of slowed up a little bit.
DeLeon, the shortstop, couldn't make the play.
I thought he had a chance to catch that ball on the fly.
Peter Van Ganzen pinch hitting here for Spangenberg's spot in the order. Spangenberg with 2 hits in the game tonight. Single in the 3rd, single in the 5th, and grounded out to second base in the 6th inning. Van Ganzen batting now with A.J. Ellis waiting on deck. Time last year at 3 different classifications of all AA and AAA, 82 total games for Van Ganzen.
It's got to be a thrill for these kids coming over to the big game, right? The A game under the candles, Cactus League.
Getting an AB here and there. Holding on Iran at first base. Down and in. Did he go? They check. No, he did not. A.J. Ellis, who is on deck, started this inning with a walk and got it started. Inside the park home run in this inning. 2-run shot in the inning also. Hudson Potts with the inside the park home run, and throw to first. A little bit on the high side, but back to the bag safely is Herron. Strike two, 2-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball running away that ends the inning at 93. But a big inning for the Padres. They scored 5 times. The inside the park home run for Hudson Potts. Ball ricocheting off the wall. Doing all the way around. And Christian Villanueva with a 2-run home run. Padres score 5 times and take a 9-7 lead. Deficit here tonight in impressive fashion to the tune of 12 hits in the ball game for the Padres, and play along now to the 8th inning. Some changes as Matt Strom out of the pen into the game here becomes the 5th arm used by Andy Green.
Well, when Matt Strom was acquired by the Padres, remember he underwent knee surgery. He's bouncing back. Very, very excited to be a part of the Padres system and being left-handed. You can see last year games and starts. Mostly a reliever. These numbers are last season with the Royals. More strikeouts than innings pitched. 34 2/3 stanzas with 37 strikeouts for the left-hander.
Oh, 2. Luis Marte batting here for the Texas Rangers. Strom featuring a 95-mile-an-hour fastball right there. Jumping ahead 0-2. Oh, a liner foul. Let's send it in, or send it down, I should say, to Bob Scanlon. Bob?
Down here with Rafi Lopez. Rafi, congratulations, the 3-run home run. Did you get jammed on that one, hitting it over the wall?
No, I didn't. Got it pretty good.
I would think so. Hey, congratulations. You have a great spring training so far. How are you feeling out there?
Good, you know, just having some fun, you know, just every day I get to come to the field's a blessing, and you know, just have fun with the guys and maybe make them have a little more fun too. You know, that's kind of my mentality. Just stay relaxed, have some fun, and you know, what happens, really.
Rafi, you've had a chance to see a bunch of different organizations. Originally with the Cubs, you've been with the Angels, the Tigers, the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, you've got a chance to see a lot of different places. Your decision to come to the Padres, what was the genesis for that, and how's the transition going for you?
You know, when they contacted me, obviously I saw there was opportunity, which is always important. And then shortly after, Andy called me, Riley Westman called me. I had a lot of people calling, actually, like talking to me and trying to get to know me, and it almost felt like college recruiting again, which was really cool to me. And you know, just the interest they took, and I felt like a lot of things they didn't have to do as far as reaching out, they did, and that meant something to me. So. You know, and I played against Andy a lot in AA, and I always thought how the teams were just better prepared than us, and guys seemed to respect him, and I'd have some interaction with him on the field too, and I really enjoyed him. So, yeah.
That's interesting. I never heard of a guy actually choosing a team because he played against a certain manager, but it sounds like you were very impressed with what Andy was doing on the other side.
In 2013 and 14, I was in AA in the Southern League, and we played against Andy a lot. And I was always just impressed by their teams, and I thought they were just well managed. And I remember thinking, who's this player managing? Who's this young guy? And was always impressed by him. So when he reached out and I put two and two together and realized it was him, so this could be a pretty good fit.
Riley Westman's over here. He handles the catchers, does a great job with those guys. Have you had a chance to work with him very much in your impressions of his defensive teaching abilities?
We've definitely been able to work together. The beginning of spring, now the minor league camp started, it's a lot tougher. But I went out to San Diego for 3 days. We were able to work together on my throwing. It's kind of was my weakness, catching, and I've been able to get that velo back and most importantly the accuracy. And Riley and Hatch has been instrumental in that too. So.
Hey, as we were talking earlier, it's been an intense spring training for you. You're trying to make a ball club. You're trying to make an impression. You're trying to figure out where you're going to go. Just the emotion that's going on with you right now as spring training's wrapping up, and you're trying to figure out where do you tell your wife to go? What's going on? How do you handle that down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, it's been intense. You're trying to make a team, but at the same time, for me, it's just really have fun, stay relaxed, be a good teammate, and really the effort I put in is what I put in, and that's what I can control. And I hate to be cliche, but there's only so many things you can control, and the other things I just let them happen as they happen. And as far as my wife, she's pretty busy. She's OBGYN resident, so it makes spring training schedule look like a breeze. So she just wants to see me at some point. So it doesn't matter when or how late the notice is. We'll be happy to see each other. You
seem to be taking it all in stride, and I know you've had various challenges over the last couple of years. On the personal side, you lost your mother a couple of years ago. That had to be very difficult, and but you seemed like you've come to some realizations for yourself that's helped make this game a little bit easier for yourself.
Yeah, I just kind of take a life approach to baseball, and that's been a big difference for me. It takes a lot of pressure off. Even though there's pressure, there's a lot of things on the line. You're able to realize that, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just something about it just makes baseball easier for me, and it keeps me more relaxed. And sometimes I think that rubs off on teammates, and it helps them maybe through their everyday stuff too. And it's just something I can bring to the table that I feel like can help everybody.
Bobby, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Keep up the great work. Padres up 9-7 as we head to the bottom of the ninth. More Padre baseball to come. We'll be right back.
Nine to 7. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. And who doesn't love to roll down the berm?
That's awesome.
At a big league game, getting all dizzy and look at that little girl on her back. It's like a beetle. She can't get She can't get up. Got her feet and hands in the air.
Go sideways.
Oh, that's great.
Well, it's Claudio into the game here now for the Rangers. 70 games, 4-2 last year. The pretty good ERA, 2.50. Worked in 82 2/3 innings. 1 point the closer, 11 saves and 15 opportunities.
Those are really good numbers.
Great numbers.
11 saves, as you mentioned. And one of the question marks for the Texas Rangers was the pitching. We talked about that earlier, but bridging the gap to the closer. And will Claudio be able to be that guy each and every night to close out those games for Jeff Bannister?
A.J. Ellis led it off in the 7th, leads it off here in the 8th.
Kind of a funky delivery, huh?
A little herky jerky.
Change up right there from the left side. Low 3/4 from Claudio.
That's 4 years for the Rangers in the big leagues.
82 2/3 frames last year and 71 hits, so fewer hits than innings pitched. Not a lot of strikeouts, 56 in those 82 2/3. So contact is being made. And Claudio sets up with the changeup grip and then adjusts accordingly in his glove. Oh, look at that's a nasty pitch, isn't it? That's a nice changeup.
Stayed with it.
Yeah. Look at the arm action. Whip it. And then it just floats up there and splits the heart of the plate.
69 miles an hour on that last changeup. Tries another one and a hot shot to short that is caught in the air. So De Leon at shortstop makes the catch on A.J. Ellis for the first out here in the 8th. Second plate appearance for Ellis. Walked the first time, lines out sharply. And the second time, one away here in the 8th. And that'll bring up Matt Caesar. Pitch hit back in the 5th inning. Got it to shortstop and popped out to second base. So 0 for 2. From Puerto Rico, San Juan. 27th round pick in 2010. A 6-year-old. Missing inside and falling behind here, 3-0. All 4 and a 4-pitch walk. So Caesar down to first base with 1 away in the inning. Top of the order, Travis Jankowski coming up. And a single to right field in the 7th inning. His first plate appearance. Took over in left field for the Padres. Rangers middle infielders at double play depth with 1 out and a runner at first. Showed bunt, took the strike.
You know, late in the game, Don, we've seen some minor league replacements, but Travis Jankowski, one of those guys, this is a big at-bat. Not giving away at-bats during spring training. Some battles going on for the roster spots. Lefty on lefty situation here. A closer for the Rangers against a kid who plays the outfield and trying to earn a spot with the Padres here in 2018.
Jankowski has hit 3 home runs during the spring. 6 RBIs, hitting at .216 during spring training.
I think he's really got to concentrate on going to left field against Claudio. He tries to pull something. It's probably going to be a ground ball. With that said, the outfield kind of playing him to go the other way a little bit. In
the dirt, gathered by Ullman. 2 strikes with 1 away. Caesar at first base. Check on Caesar. Ball dropped over there by Beck, but Caesar was able to get back without a problem. Nine runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Padres. 7 runs, 9 hits, and an error for the Rangers. Swing and a miss, and Jankowski is down on strikes for out number 2 of the 8th inning. First strikeout for Claudio since coming into the game.
Looked like that lefty on lefty breaking ball.
First baseman, number 97, Hudson Potts.
2 down and brings up Hudson Potts. Yeah, the inside the park home run, 3-run shot. Hit it to the left of the 410 marker out there in left field. The ricochet bounced quickly by Tavares, center fielder for the Rangers, and Potts came all the way around. Four home runs in the game for the Padres. Mentioned the inside the park home run. Renfroe had homered. Villanueva with a home run. And Rafi Lopez with a 3-run shot earlier in the game.
Harry Belafonte trying to get the crowd into this game here with a little Deo. Pretty straight away in the outfield against Potts. I like the way this kid swings the bat. A nice recognition of that changeup, just spits on it, right?
Two and one. Over the top of that. Let's see, it would be difficult to face Claudio.
Yeah. Good arm action, good whip on that arm action, then pulls the parachute, right? The floating changeup.
That's Caesar, the lead at first, held on by Beck.
Sometimes pitchers with a changeup that they can control like that, they will set a hitter up to where they'll throw it out of the zone if they don't bite, and then bang, trying to pound a fastball in, tough to catch up to. See if he tries to buzz a fastball in here.
Check on first, and easily back is Caesar. In the dirt for ball 4. And to first base goes Potts, and Mark Grant's got something to tell you.
I sure do. This year marks the 20th anniversary when Mark Sweeney led this team, the 1998 team, to the National League Championship Series.
Mark Sweeney did?
Oh yeah, I believe it. Joined the Padres in a celebration of the 98 team during the 4-game series against the Cardinals, May 10th and 13th. Each game features a commemorative bobblehead, all-fan giveaway presented by Sequan Casino, featuring your favorite Padres, Tony Gwynn, Trevor Hoffman, Ken Caminetti, Greg Vaughn. Grab your tickets for the weekend at Padres.com. Where's the Sweeney bobblehead?
I don't know. I mean, considering he led them to the World Series.
Led the charge.
Mound visit here.
How many is that, 4?
At least. I feel like there's been more than that. Brocal, the pitching coach out there. Claudio trying to finish off the inning. He has walked 2 in this inning. Walking Caesar, and more recently Hudson Potts. And now Dusty Coleman coming up. Coleman struck out swinging in the 7th inning. Initially took over at third base in this game, but has since moved to shortstop. Popped up. Foul ground. Beck, the first baseman, going over as far as he can towards the seats, and he drops the baseball. I believe he got glove on that.
I think he did. Very catchable ball. Nice job by the positioning of the first base umpire, Stu Shearwater. There he is. He got a good position to see where that ball was. It over the stands? Was it in fair, or was it playable on the field? Right. He's hustling over. He watches where that ball. Oh yeah, he said it's safe because the ball was over the line of the stands. He just boxed it. Fan did not interfere.
Foul back to the screen, and it's 1-2 down.
Jumpy there?
Yeah, that one looked like it was headed for us. One-two to Coleman. A little pop up, another chance here for Beck. And he makes good this time, making the catch and foul ground that ends the inning. Padres strand a pair, but take a 9-7 lead to the ninth. Lopez with a 3-run shot. Speaking of 3-run home runs, how about an inside the park home run? Hudson Potts in this ricochet off the wall, and then Christian Villanueva with a 2-run home run to left field off the pavilion. All part of a 9-run attack tonight for the San Diego Padres. Enjoy a 9-7 lead here to the 9th inning. And the inside the park home run for Hudson Potts. The pitcher on now for the Padres as Colton Brewer comes into the game.
You know what I like about this game? We talked about the power, but the Padre hitters tonight, when we saw those hits, crushing the fastball, crushing mistakes, and now Colton Brewer in there to nail it down. A-ball, AA, and AAA. 3 stops last season for the right-hander Brewer.
Spent in the Yankees organization. Tampa, Scranton, and Trenton, those venues for him last year. Signed by the Padres during the offseason as a major league free agent November the 22nd. 25-year-old.
Straight over the top. Good hard breaking ball starting off. Destin Hood. I don't know where that first pitch missed. It was a pretty darn good pitch. Good call the ball.
Counts 2-1 here to Hood, who leads it off. Colton Brewer, born in Dallas, Texas, resides in Canton, Texas, and taking on a Texas Rangers team tonight. Top left side towards third. Van Gansen, third baseman, showing off a good arm. Retiring Hood at first base for the first out here in the 9th inning.
You know what I liked about that play from Van Gansen? His hands, when he caught that ball, they were on his right side, glove hand together, so he didn't have to catch it out in front, take his hand out of the glove, and then regroup in big arm swing. Watch where his hands are on his right. See how he gathers his hands on his right there, his hand by his glove. Catch it, already on that right side for the throwing, getting the hand out for the nice throw over to first base.
One down in the 9th inning, and it brings up Hanser Alberto. Look out, that one kind of slipped out of his hand. Alberto took over defensively in the outfield. AA and AAA. Frisco and Round Rock a year ago. Jumping out of the way, but called a strike. 2-1. Fastball at 95 from Colton Brewer. Fly ball headed to right field. Nealis out there on right will make the catch for out number 2 in the 9th inning. Colton Brewer 2 up, 2 down here in the 9th.
I know I'm kind of dating myself when I say this, but Colton Brewer is a modern day Larry Anderson. It's like sliders. I don't think I've seen a straight fastball. Everything's been sliders.
Pretty big, 6'4", 230. Yodi Taveras about to come up here now for the Rangers with 2 outs.
Another slider. He's either sliding that ball or cutting it. That last pitch was 83, correct?
Yes.
So a bigger breaking ball.
Over to the backstop. Missed it 95 with that pitch.
Wow. It's got to be a cutter, don't you think? At 95 with movement like that?
It's throwing pretty hard.
Yes, he is.
Ground ball towards second base. Iran bobbles it, and reaching at first is Tavares. Sounded like a broken bat. So Tavares reaching on the error. Charge to the second baseman here with 2 down in the 9th inning. Hunter Cole coming up. Richmond last year and hit 249 AA. 83 games a year ago. Did have 7 home runs. Runner goes uncontested to second base. Defensive indifference. So Tavares at second now with 2 down in the 9th inning. Evens up at 1-1. Brian Mitchell started this game for the Padres. Went 4 innings, giving up 7 runs. Adam Simber an inning. Brad Hand an inning. Akita an inning. Strom an inning. And Colton Brewer trying to close the door here on the Rangers. The Padres on top 9-7. Grounded towards second. Iran with another chance. On to first for the out. That ends the ball game. So the Padres come away with a 9-7 victory over the Rangers. They trailed at 1.7-0. We will step aside and come back with more from Peoria after this.